You're watching CBS 8 Mornings at 6.
And we begin with a weather impact alert with rain on the way. Thanks for being here at 6 a.m. on this Thursday. I'm Eric Connert.
And I'm Netta Iranport. Yeah, you'll notice it's a little damp outside. Meteorologist Evan Irani joining us. Not a lot, though, right?
No, this morning we are almost completely dry. We have a few scattered showers up around North County. It looks like we're going to have that activity picking up over the next couple hours between about 8 and noon or so, where we could see a little bit more of that green developing and pushing on shore. But the vast majority of us are likely to be left out of any wet weather today, especially south of about Del Mar. It's going to be the very, very light and scattered stuff that we see for that afternoon stretch. Temperatures are going to be in the mid-60s along the coast and inland. Might notice a few of those showers across the mountains, but what we're really going to be watching for is an uptick in that chance for rain tomorrow. Looks like that's when the bulk of our chances for rain really pick up. And then we're back to a dry upcoming weekend through about Tuesday before another chance for rain comes by the middle of next week. That's still a little far out for us to be able to anticipate, but something to just kind of keep in the rearview mirror as we head through the next couple days. So today, lighter stuff, hundredths of an inch. Tomorrow we could be looking at more of a tenth of an inch, maybe 2/10 of an inch coming down. Back to you.
Evan, thank you very much for that. And now this morning, the country's new attorney general taking aim at so-called sanctuary jurisdictions, including San Diego County.
Pam Bondi is banning federal funding to sanctuary cities and counties which refuse to cooperate with federal immigration enforcement. CBS 8's Regina Yarita live at the county administration building with local reaction to this. Good morning, Regina.
Yeah, good morning, Eric and Netta. That's correct. And it seems that the new Attorney General, Pam Bondi, after being sworn in, has officially taken a new task, which is targeting sanctuary jurisdictions. That includes here in San Diego County. If you remember, back in December, the County Board of Supervisors voted for this area to be a sanctuary county. So take a listen to how political experts are reacting to this new move.
This means if sanctuary cities up and down the state are denied funds, if we don't have judges step in and have a temporary restraining order, that could block more than $1 billion across the country in funds that have nothing to do with immigration.
And so that is UC San Diego political science professor Thad Kauser. He points out that President Trump in his first term tried a similar move to withhold federal law enforcement funds from sanctuary jurisdictions, a move that was quickly challenged and ultimately defeated all the way to the Supreme Court. Bondi is also ordering DOJ officials to investigate instances of sanctuary jurisdictions allegedly obstructing law enforcement and, quote, directing they be prosecuted when necessary. The county says this new directive from Attorney General Pam Bondi ordering the Department of Justice to ban federal funds from heading to sanctuary jurisdictions will not change the county's current policy. Now, for reference, back in 2020, all sanctuary cities and counties across the county received more than $500 million for law enforcement programs. The numbers are still being determined for how much of that will be heading to San Diego County, but Kauser expects this new move to be challenged in court. So back out here in the next half hour, we'll hear from the acting chair, Tara Lawson Reamer, who is reacting to this as well, and whether the San Diego County Board of Supervisors will challenge this in court. For now, I'll send it back to you.
Regina, thanks for that. Right now, federal workers who do not want to return to work in the office have just a few hours to accept a buyout from the Trump administration.
Yeah, today's the deadline. CBS 8's Chris Grow live outside the federal building downtown with what these mass resignations could mean for everybody. Chris.
Yeah, tens of thousands of federal workers here in San Diego alone have already received that offer. According to the Trump administration, they want to get somewhere between 5 to 10% of federal workers, the raw number somewhere around 200,000, to resign in order to, in their words, to save money and also to get rid of some programs. Now, from what we know from CBS News is that 40,000 have already accepted that resignation letter. So again, below that goal, and they have until the end of today. Now, the letter that went out was take the buyout or face potential layoffs somewhere down in the future. There is a number of unions as well as legal experts who are dubious and concerned about that offer for the buyout program, especially if that money will actually be paid out and if it will be paid out for the length of the offer that was made. Several unions have taken that concern into a lawsuit. They are suing to temporarily stop this program. Something else that is happening is the Office of Personnel Management is offering an early retirement incentive. That's for workers 50 and up with at least 20 years of service and those of any age with at least 25 years on the job. Now, another concern here that has been raised by some lawmakers as well as some lawyers is that is public safety. We do know that military positions and other critical roles are exempt, but the newest development here is that the CIA says that it's offering the package to its entire workforce. So again, national security as well as the intelligence community here potentially going to be at risk for a huge shakeup. We do know, of course, some people are wondering about tax season. We know that, of course, April is just around the corner. The IRS is not offering these resignation packages to anyone within their department until after the tax filing deadline. Eric and Netta.
Protesters seen and heard there yelling, "Fight for your rights." They're protesting against policy changes by President Trump. That continues around the country. Now, here in San Diego, demonstrators gathered at the federal building. This is downtown yesterday. This large crowd included federal employees, their family members, and immigration advocates. Demonstrations were also held in cities like Boston, Washington, D.C., and in Austin, Texas.
Today, a man accused of having an outburst inside of a Santee hair salon expected to make his first court appearance. And it was all caught on cell phone video, which went viral.
Through a bunch of stuff. I'm at the Great Clips in Santee.
This happened last Wednesday. Deputies say they arrested 27-year-old August Marriott in Chula Vista this past Tuesday. Deputies say Marriott became irate when he visited the Great Clips at Mission Gorge Road, and an employee pointed out he was late to his appointment. That's when deputies say he vandalized the business, threw shampoo bottles at employees. One of those workers had minor injuries. Marriott is facing several charges, including assault with a deadly weapon, vandalism, and violation of parole. Today, MLB team owners will vote on who controls the Padres. According to the Union Tribune, the owners are expected to confirm John Seidler. Right now, Sheil Seidler, the widow of late Padres owner Peter Seidler, is suing his brothers, Matthew and Robert. She's accusing them of breaching their fiduciary duties as trustees of the Seidler Trust that controls the Padres. The brothers say the claims are untrue. John is the eldest brother and was appointed to run the organization in December, but needed MLB approval.
And here we are, 6:07 now on this Thursday, yes?
Yes.
A little bit of moisture out there? Not that
little
much.
bit, just
Okay.
about that much. We're
Smidge.
expecting tomorrow to be a little bit more impactful in
right.
terms of our probability of precipitation. I know yesterday and for many of the days prior, we were talking about today and tomorrow having about that equal opportunity. Let's take a look at where our newest models place us. Right now, it looks like today is at only about a 19% shot at that wet weather versus tomorrow at 52%. It is far too typical for us to see storms that originate way up to the north of us, Northern California, even up to Washington State. And as these storms make their way south, they dwindle. They lose a lot of their momentum. This is just another example of that happening. So if you're new to San Diego, that is very normal for us. And if you have been here for a while, then you know the drill. I mean, we're in some cases 5 to 7 inches below where we'd like to be on our rain totals just for this season so far. We get back to a dry upcoming weekend. Chances for rain start to climb again by the middle of next week. I'd say err some caution here because there is a chance that those numbers change. In fact, there's a strong likelihood that those numbers will change. Santa Barbara is anticipating another 1.5 inches of rain. Oxnard, LA, around 3/4 of an inch. Long Beach, Mission Viejo, 1/2 inch. And then you start to make your way to Oceanside. We're talking just over 1/4 of an inch. San Diego, 1/10 of an inch. So there is still rain in the forecast by the time we get through Friday evening. However, will it come today? That's the big uncertain question. Right now outside, we've got fog, mist, drizzle. That's going to be the case for the next several hours. In fact, we are still expected to get a few hundredths of an inch, maybe even up to 1/10 of an inch around North County. North County seems to be kind of exclusive in probability of precipitation. However, what we have moving through the county is more of an impact related to that fog than to any shower potential. Fallbrook's at just over 1 mile of visibility, 4 miles in Carlsbad, 1/2 mile in Kearny Mesa, and 7 miles downtown. Imperial Beach is at 10 miles of visibility. Once this low pressure system makes its way through today and tomorrow, we'll get a little bit of a boost in temperatures for Saturday and Sunday as those clouds start to break apart and we get some slightly warmer temperatures, mostly cloudy skies, meaning that we will have some of the sun peeking through. But today should still give us a little bit of an opportunity there for some afternoon sunshine. Let's check in on traffic, talk about how your roads are so far. We have not seen much at all. Yellow on the screen indicating that our road weather index is pointing to a foggy start to the morning commute around about the mountains off toward Palomar Mountain, for example. And then if we zoom into Chula Vista and moving up to the Coronado area, so really from Chula Vista through National City and Coronado, you can see how those speeds start to slow down as you're making your way northbound on the 5 and then moving over to the Coronado Bridge itself. So from downtown to Coronado, you're looking at stop and go traffic and a little bit of fog in the Coronado area as well. Let's take a look at border wait times. 25-minute wait at the San Ysidro Port of Entry and a 30-minute wait at the Otay Mesa Port of Entry. Both are not going to take you too long to get across. Should be across both in just about a half hour or so.